You flossing with the shirt, huh?
It's comfy. It's silky. It's
Yeah,
smooth. I
yeah.
like it.
All right, Mike Davis, man. Usually, when I have people on the show, they got a fight coming up, but unfortunately,
Yeah,
just got the news that you had to pull out of your fight due to an injury. Go into exactly, the what the injury is, what happened, how did it happen?
I'm not gonna. Injury is to prevent kind of like future plans of attack or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, because it's an injury that does need time.
Mm-hmm.
But it happened during training, as everything always does. This actually happened back in January, early January, about now, like the 10th. And I was trying to train. I took a week off. I was like, all right, it hurts. Let me take a week. Let me try and train later on. Goes by. I go back to training. I was like, let me drill. Let me see if it hurts. Hurts during the drills. So like, all right, one more week. I take another week off. Go back. Try to drill. I get through the drilling. We start to do a little more fluid movement. Can't do it. I'm like, all right, let me take another week. Now it's like 3 weeks go by. I haven't done a thing. So I go. I'm training with Poirier, and it's like January 25th, somewhere around here. Probably literally like January 18th. Training with Poirier, I get cradled, hurts, can't, like I scream, it hurts so bad. So I go. The coaches saw me. They tell me to go get X-rayed, go get done, and I do. And the doctors tell me that's an 8-week recovery, 8 to 10 week recovery. They put me on uh, notice so I can return as soon as possible. But right now I'm kind of just chilling, getting fat.
Are you needing any kind of surgery, or is it just
No
rehab and
surgery,
just no surgery?
no surgery. Yeah, rehab, nice and time. I have to relax because movement hurts it. Movement just re-injures it.
All fighters, go through injuries. It could be big or small. And I'm pretty sure you're just like every other fighter. You have injuries going into fights. But this one must have been
Oh yeah,
serious to where you're like, hey, I need to take this. I need to like pull out of this fight. I need to take time off.
I tried so hard to stay in. Like I said, this happened in early January,
Mm.
and I have been trying. I wouldn't care if I only got 2 weeks to train or a week to train, but I see even now, even today, I still can't get in the gym. So, and that's been a month already. It's just an injury that I can't mess with right now. I go into the fight and it gets hit or gets hurt, and now I'm out 6 months instead of this couple months.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a nice sleep.
it kind of reminds me of like what you just said. It reminds me of Macy Barber when she hurt her knee, and everybody knew her knee was jacked up during the fight, and she just continued fighting. Of course, fighters want to fight, but the coaches, whoever's next to you needs to help you, right? And decide for you. Did you think that when you were watching that fight, or did you feel like just let her fight, let her get through it?
I did. I watched the fight, and the way that she was limping and the way that she couldn't put pressure on, she screamed when Roxanne, that's her name,
Yeah.
when Roxanne put her against the cage to take her down, she screamed. She let out a very loud scream, and I feel like that right there, you should have stopped it. Um, that's considered like a verbal tap when you're in that much pain to yell out that hard. She went from a partial tear to a complete tear, and now she's out for a while. So
And like you said,
definitely,
like if you went into this fight with this injury, you could have been out for like a year, and
yeah,
financially, that's devastating for a fighter.
that's completely.
So,
But
you said 8 weeks. You could get actually back into training after the 8 weeks.
yeah, so I'm hoping to actually get back into the cage in April.
Okay.
A long camp. As you know, the two UFC fights I've had, I have 8 days total in
Mhm.
training for them both.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm ready for whenever. I'm always in shape, and not right now, but I will be. Let me just get back in the gym. They said I can get back in March. After I think it was March 12th. So I'm gonna see how I feel then. Try and get back in the gym and train for like a month and get right back in there in April.
How do you go about not gaining weight while you're not actually training? I've always wondered about that. But some fighters, they're naturally gifted. Like genetics is they don't really gain weight too
Yeah.
easily.
So it's all diet at the
Mhm.
moment. I just have to. I want to eat everything, but I do have to watch what I'm eating right now. because like I said, I'm relaxing, I'm gaming, I can walk, so I take long walks. Can't really jog too much, can't really do much else. So I take a long walk maybe like 10, 15 miles. It keeps a lot of the weight down. Drink a lot of water, and then try to watch my carb intake.
It's so easy to just sit on the couch and start turn on that TV, right? And just like you
Oh
gotta
yeah,
keep food out of your house, huh?
oh yeah. But
um,
they've
yeah.
offered me this guy twice, and
Mm,
I hate to pull out.
mm,
The first time I did not agree to the fight, so I don't take blame for that.
mm,
I I was caught with MRSA
mm,
right like a week before the fight in Copenhagen against Danny Henry, and I was lucky that he pulled out due to injury. So then I could also be like, hey, that's actually perfect because it probably would have been beneficial for me to fight. I was going to fight, so it would have been beneficial. So I was like, you know what, I'm out. Then they offered me someone else without telling me, and they're like, hey, Mike, you're fighting this guy now. And I was like, wait, I have MRSA, I can't. And they're like, oh, so then they had to take it back, and that's when Brandon Davis took up. Congrats to Brandon Davis of taking that fight. So the same guy. Now this time is an actual legitimate me versus him, and I had to pull out of this, and I do apologize. It's not something I want to do. I never want to pull out, but I mean, health comes first, and this fight is a good matchup. He's a striker, I'm a striker, and I don't know. I think it'd be fireworks. I think if someone's getting knocked out, I'm thinking like the first round.
Well, I think that it's smart to, pull out, man. I never blame a fighter for pulling out of any fight, man. If they're, because fighters are there to fight, man. Like they need to make money, and if something must be
Yeah.
very, very serious to where they're pulling out of the fight. And when you go online, do you go online a lot? Do you check it out, like see what people are saying? Because right now
Of
the
course.
news just broke, but you've been hurt for a little bit.
Yeah. So I actually saw comments recently, and they were talking about how I'm just scared and this and that, and how I always pull out of fights. But this is the second fight in my entire career that I pull. Oh, third. Okay, third fight in my entire career. 28 fights that I pull out of. And it's not me. It's not like, hey, I go up to the coach and be like, hey, I don't want to fight. The coaches, that's their job. They watch me every single day. They see me train. They're like, hey, look, how's that leg bothering you? How's that arm feeling? Doesn't like you're throwing it very hard. How's it feel? Let's go get checked out today. And that's what they do. And then they're the ones that watched me train and saw that I can't do anything. And they're like, Mike, you need to get checked out now. And then when I came back with the results, they're like, that's it. We're not letting you fight. We need you at 100%, and you're working about 40. We can't take this fight. And they came to me with that. And I can't really say no. They're right. They are 100% correct. So I just go with what they say.
I was watching something previous that you did, and you talked about you spent 10 years at Cus D'Amato's gym in New York. And
Mm-hmm.
like I was blown away by that, and I wanted you to I just wanted to ask you, describe that experience, because describe the time over there in that gym of
Yeah,
killers.
man. So actually, the gym isn't full of killers anymore. It's just
Mm,
full. The coaches are still there. Kevin Rooney was still a coach. He
mm,
was Mike Tyson's coach. He became my. When I was about 14, I was getting bullied a lot. I was in ninth grade.
mm,
I was very small. I was probably like 5'1". I got picked on. I got lifted up. I got put against the lockers. I got thrown around. I was tiny. So I went. I couldn't drive. So I rode my bike all the way. I think it's 13 miles to Cus D'Amato's from my house. And then I talked to Kevin Rooney about being bullied and that I don't want to fight them because I'm scared of confrontation. So I didn't want to fight them, but I wanted to know how to box so I can say I know how to box, or they can see that I know how to box and will just leave me alone. So he actually let me train for free and kept me underneath his wing until he became at a point in his life where he wasn't able to teach anymore. And then Ernest Westbrook took over, which I kept learning from him. I learned the peekaboo style, and I stayed there until I left New York. And then I came and continued training, and I continue my training of that specific style even today.
boxer
Yeah.
lifestyle. You were going through that for years and years and years. Like, how different is that from your lifestyle now as an MMA fighter?
I don't know. It's not too different.
Mm,
It's kind of the same. same. I don't hate it. I don't. I mean, mixed martial arts saved my life because I started MMA. I think at 16, and that's what changed my life. I was supposed to go hang out with a couple friends. They went and did some. They did alcohol. They're drinking. Sorry, did alcohol. They were drinking, and I chose to go train instead of hang out with them. And that night, they actually were arrested for armed robbery. And I know that I would have been with them. They're my best friends. I would have been driving the car, hanging out with them, doing something. But instead, I was training. I was learning BJJ. And at 16, I didn't have a gym. We were just at a little moose lodge, and we had rope stabbed in the ground with some poles, some cardboard on the floor. We were watching YouTube, learning jiu-jitsu stuff and practicing it. So, yeah, that's how I started MMA, and it was something I loved.
I love it. I love it,
I,
man.
I love the sport.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that story. Everybody has to start somewhere. Now, with the boxing, training there and under Rooney and learning everything from him, and what have you taken from that exactly and kind of implemented it into your game, which has been very effective in the cage?
Power, the
Power.
turning of my hips, disappearing, not staying still, being able to cut corners real fast, and that's something that I've taken and implemented it into MMA. I do want to hold that title of best boxer in MMA, and I've been told that already, but I want it to be like worldly known that I am the best boxer in MMA. And then I want to take a boxing fight against someone big in boxing.
Well, I
Not
think
Floyd Mayweather.
that's a possibility with Zuva boxing supposedly,
Yeah, yeah,
coming
we
up.
start that
So
up, and I
maybe
100%, I 100% want to be in there.
if you
Definitely.
could, who would you fight? Like, there's, in your weight division in boxing, who would you like to go in there and challenge yourself against?
Triple G.
Oh,
I think Triple G would be a fun
all
one.
right, all
That'd be fun.
right.
Just
You
a
gotta
test.
go
Just a test.
big.
I don't think I do that bad.
Yeah, you gotta go big, man, with Triple G. Um, I noticed that last year you went to the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts, right?
Yeah.
And I believe you won the tryouts. Um, oh, why did you end up going back to the States? I thought it was. Didn't you get like a year scholarship or something like that?
So the thing is, yeah, you get a year paid for by Tiger Muay Thai. They pay for training, they pay for accommodation, food, and they cover your visa for one whole year. But the thing back then, I had a round trip ticket. I never planned to stay. I thought it would just be fun. A friend of mine was over there training, and he said, "Hey, they're doing the tryouts. They do them once a year." Sent me the application. He's like, "Just try out, put it in." And this was like a week after the tryout application date ended, and I'm surprised they still took my entry. But they took me in. I went over. I never thought that I'd win. I thought very rigorous, or they would keep it to Muay Thai fighters only. But I didn't know how I was going to go, so I came unprepared. Didn't train or do anything. I just showed up, and surprisingly, I stood above everybody. I did want to stay, and I do want to go back.
Mhm.
At the point in time, I did not have the funds to stay there. Yes, they cover accommodation. They cover a type of food, but I need to be able to do my own stuff because there are days that I want to train or I can't overtrain. They train like 3 times a day, so I want to go and explore, and I didn't have any money. Well, very little amounts. So I had to come back. I had to fight again, and then I was going to go back, which is what I didn't do after I fought in October.
Well,
I should have.
that's insane that you went over there. You didn't prepare yourself, and you went and tried
No.
out. And all these other guys are like probably been training for years to go to the tryouts and win the scholarship. And you just basically on natural ability went in there and did the damn thing, right?
Yeah. It was definitely a learning experience. I learned a lot of discipline while I was there. I learned different techniques. I learned what heart is. I learned to push myself to a limit, and then I had to dig down and find even more. So it definitely opened my eyes up a lot. So going there for a year, probably something I'm definitely going to do, even if it's not covered by them. I might still just go out there. I did talk to the trainers out there, and they did say I'm welcome back. And whenever, just come and they'll work with me.
Well, you went back. You're at American Top Team. Just endless and endless amounts of talent and coaching and everything there. You know, probably the biggest team in the world. You know, being one of the guys at the biggest team in the world, does that give you more of a fire in your belly instead of just being one of the top guys at a smaller gym?
Um, I want to be one of the top guys at this gym,
Okay.
which being here and training with people that are at the spot I want to be, they're all champion organization. They got Risen, Bellator, ONE FC, UFC. There's people fighting. Kumite, I think, is the new Brazilian one.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are people everywhere, and they're champions in these, and they're all training together. So honestly, I'm sitting here training with people that are at the top of my weight class division, like Hanato Moicano. He's been ranked number 5. Train with him every single day. So when I go against, what's this? Yeah, ranked. I don't think he's ranked at all. It feels like nothing. It feels like I'm fighting a nobody. It's just still out of the UFC, just the low rankings. I'm not even. I think I'm ranked like 100. There's nothing. I'm going with someone who's ranked number 5, and I handle myself against him. So to fight someone down low, it gives me super confidence, like insane confidence, because I handle myself with a top 5, which means I belong in the top 5. I belong up there. That's how I feel. I train with Dustin Poirier, who's beaten the 145 champ, and I train with him every single day. You got to see the people I train with is they're where I am. I want to be. They're doing the things I want to do. And I really, really appreciate being here.
The coaches, there's so many of them. Who are the main guys for you that kind of you've attached yourself to?
King Mo,
Mm.
Dean Thomas, and Mike Brown, and Steve Mako.
Okay.
So the main ones I stick around are Mako, and Dean Thomas. Those are the 2 that I stick around big time.
That seems like it's the dream team right now, right there.
Yes. Dean Thomas is like an expert. He has a fight IQ that's beyond anyone else that I know. He just knows how to maneuver people, how to engage, how to strike from any angle, how to finish fights, and that's what he's teaching me.
Also, him and Mo, they're comedians, right? They're videos that they're putting up, they're classics. Like when we look back 10 years from now, we're gonna look at those videos and be like, these are classic videos.
Oh, they're so funny. Fun of people while they're training, they have fun, and as like showing up, I know I'm working, but I get to laugh, I smile. It doesn't feel like work. I do this every day. It's just something. It's a hobby. It's. I see my family. It's like all my people I train with, they become family and friends, and it's just I'm going from house to house, just hanging out.
Phenomenal.
It's this MMA sport. It's what we do.
Yeah. So April is when you want to get back.
Yes.
Is there like a card in April or May that you're looking at? You're not even thinking about it?
There's a card for April 18th. I already requested to have tickets to go up there. It's at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And that's where I'm from New York, and I can bring people in, like hundreds of people from 2 hours away upstate where I'm from. And I feel like that would be really cool to have my family and, my family's down here now. All my old friends and high school, all those people just be able to come down and see me fight. That would be honestly fantastic. I'm just hoping I can be healed and ready by then. If not, I guess I'm looking past it.
Well, hopefully, man, you do get back.
Definitely ready to get back
on that date.
I do recall them saying that they might push this for an extension. So when I am healed, I will be fighting Giga as well, just in a further date. It depends on his accepting.